Hello YouTube, bringing an update to you here on the 27-gallon cube. So, I believe it's day 49. So, alright, let's dig in. I'm using a different camera today. I'm using my tablet instead of my phone, so it's picking up the colors a little bit better, but we'll see how the quality actually comes out once I get this loaded. So I'm going to start with the coral I'm worried about, which is this candy cane. So week and a half, 2 weeks ago, it had started receding onto the skeleton, wasn't inflating as much. And you can see a couple spots where the skeleton's actually coming through. It was actually coming through on all around it, and it was starting to pull off of the skeleton on the lower left-hand side there. What had happened, or I'm pretty sure had happened, for the reason for it. So I had moved, the zoas hadn't been opening up, so I'd moved that pump right there to its spot there to give them a little bit more flow. They liked it a lot, started opening up right away afterwards, but I think it just ended up creating too much flow with the water coming this way, bouncing off the tank, and then going back towards the coral. You can even see it created kind of a dune in the sand there. But I've had that pump off now for a few days, or for several days, once I figured out what I'd done to cause it, and it's been doing a lot better. So it's still not back to where it was before, but it's back fully reattached to the skeleton. There's only a couple spots that are poking through the polyp now. So the one on the top is starting to inflate a little bit more. So hopefully it'll continue to do better. So, and there's the shrimp, coral banded shrimp. I just the pumps are all off right now because I just fed the tank some mysis. So the Asarius, where'd it go? Back there. Shrimp, those guys all come out of their hiding places. So feed the mice a couple times a week. Back there we've got the torch. It's been doing, let me get a little bit, I don't know if I'll be able to focus well from this side. It's been doing really well though, feeding pretty actively, extending nicely. So over here I've got the pallies. They've been opening up very nicely, and they feed fairly aggressively on the days that I feed the zooplankton. So which isn't today, but same thing with the zoas. I don't notice them feeding as much, but they tend to extend a little bit more. I mean, their mouths are pretty small. I don't know if they're opening or not, but yeah, they're closed up because some of them are closed up right now because shrimp over here was crawling over them a minute ago, but most of them are open up. So, and they've been opening up nicely. So even after I turned that pump off, I think they may have just had some detritus or mucus or something that was not making them happy, but they've been doing pretty well since. Down here we've got the Blastomusa, so it's been doing, let me see if I can focus a little bit better there. It's been doing real well, opening up nicely, feeding pretty aggressively. A couple of the polyps managed to snag some of the mysis, so it's been doing real well. Still nice coloration. So, oh, and then over here the Favites, skipped over that guy, so you may have noticed. Before he was down on the sand, the hermits knocked him over a few times. Every day it seemed like he was getting knocked over a couple times, so stuck him up there with some epoxy putty. So they've been doing pretty well though. They feed, the mouths open up when I feed the zooplankton, so they've been doing pretty well. You may also notice the The diatoms, the brown diatoms, are almost completely absent from my tank now. There's a little bit left, but nothing near what it was before. So the snails and the hermits have been doing their job, probably mostly the snails. Now they're going to work on the glass, though there really hasn't been much on the glass. Over here, we've got the Recordia. He's munching on some mysis as well. He doesn't seem to feed so much on the zooplankton. He extends a little bit, but when I feed the mysis, he definitely latches onto that. So, and up here, this is the other move that happened for the same reason. The acan was down on the sand, got knocked over a couple times. Not as bad as with the Favites, but wanted to move him up there. So he's been doing real well up there, though. Doesn't get too much flow, because he's got the rock shielding him there. He gets a little bit coming back off the glass, but it's a good spot for light. Not too bad flow. So this camera's definitely picking up the colors a lot better. You can see the nice bright orange around the edges. He's got a nice green center. So let me see if I can't focus a little bit better there. And that's as good as it's going to get. But he's been doing well pretty much the whole time too. Inflating nicely, extending nicely, feeding very aggressively. So he's been doing well. Then up here, I can get rid of that glare from the window. We've got the green star polyps. They are doing much better, as you can see. Wide open. They feed pretty aggressively as well. They extend a lot more, both when I feed the zooplankton, but even when I'm feeding mysis. So I don't directly feed these guys, but I guess they like picking up the little particulates that end up floating around in the tank. So I've even got, you can see there's one spot up towards the top there where one polyp had died off not too long after I introduced him to the tank. Actually, I think that was during the little mini cycle that happened after I added the cleanup crew, the massive cleanup crew. But now they're doing great. I've got some, I don't think you can see them, but got some new tiny little polyps coming in right around that middle part there. Got another view of the hammer back there. Again, there's no flow in the tank right now, so he's not moving around, and he's probably munching on some mysis at the moment, but he's been doing real well. So I do want to, still got a lot of shells to put rocks, or to put more corals. I go back and forth. Ideally I'd like to get some SPS in here. I don't know if the tank's going to be able to support them, but I'm going to give it a while, make sure it's able to stay stable for an extended period of time, and we'll kind of see how that does. I do have some more fish coming, or some fish, since I don't have any fish right now. I had seeded the refugium with pods, and they've made their way to the display tank now. You can see them zipping around there. Can't see them most of the time, but when I turn the pumps off to feed, they like to come up and grab whatever's floating around up there. But they seem to be doing pretty well. So I'm actually going to add 2 mandarins. So I ordered a male and a female. There's some at the local fish, or at one of the local fish stores. The other one didn't have any, but the one that did, they just look they're pretty scrawny. So decided to order online from reefstogo.com. Haven't ordered anything from that website before, but they had a lot of really good reviews on their mandarins. People saying they came nice and healthy, plump, not emaciated. So hopefully they'll come in good shape. But I'll post another update once we have those added. And then I'll be seeding pods regularly to make sure they can eat. I'm going to try and wean them onto prepared foods, but I imagine I'll be dumping new pods in the refugium probably every week for the interim. So, and then down here, let me switch my lights. I've got these on an opposite schedule from the display tank now. So the refugium's been doing pretty well. It's wonderfully dirty, so can't really see too well in there. Got a few serifs and a hermit in there. I don't see the hermit right now. Oh, he's up on the rock there. If you can see him through the salt deposits. But not sure if I talked about this with the last update, but added a little mini reactor back there that I got from Dr. Tim's. It's got bio pellets in there. Seeded it with some bacteria, and almost immediately the nitrates started dropping off. So, oh, which reminds me, since I don't think I've talked about it, the kind of mini cycle that my tank went through after adding the cleanup crew, pretty much done. So the ammonia nitrites are down. Nitrates are still a little bit high, but they're way down from where they were. They'd gotten above 80 parts per million. They're now down under 20. So again, still higher than I want them to be, but they're continuing to drop down. Again, I think a big part of that's the addition of that little reactor down there. So that's been doing pretty well for me. I got Kato in there as well, but I've had Kato in there for a while and just wasn't having the same effect on the nitrates. So I might put some other macroalgae in there as well, kind of experiment a little bit and see if I get a little bit better control. But again, that little reactor seems to be taking care of my nitrates pretty well. Haven't had any problems with phosphates, so they've been zeroed out for almost since the tank started. But yeah, so that is, here, let me switch these back. So that is that's the update on the tank. I'll have another update once we get the mandarins in here, but yeah, things are going pretty well. So thanks for watching. Comments and suggestions always welcome, so feel free to comment below, but we'll give you another update once we get the fish in here later this week. Thanks.